Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. It's been a few weeks, but it's time for another edition of This Week in Fragrance, where I'm going to be talking to you guys about some upcoming fragrance releases that you have to look forward to. On the docket today, a new Club de Nuit, a new Armani Code, a new Montblanc Explorer, a new Lattafa, and also a new line of fragrances that you need to know about from Acqua de Parma, as well as a new Drakkar. That's the most important thing. A lot of the info that I share with you guys today is gleaned and gained from ifragranceofficial.com, who is linked in the description below, so feel free to check out their website if you want to look at more information on the stuff I talked to you about here today, or upcoming releases as they're announced. So yeah, like I said, a bunch to talk about. Let's start off with the new Lattafa. So this one is Caed Al Farsan Untamed. I apologize for my pronunciation. So slowly but surely, Caed Al Farsan, the original, has become one of the more popular fragrance releases from Lattafa, really well known for having a huge pineapple note off the top. Also, pretty cheap, that doesn't hurt. And this new one is already available. You can get it from the perfume box. I think it's like 24 bucks. I have one on order right now, so I should have it pretty soon. I don't have it just yet. Oh, and by the way, if you shop at the perfume box, here's a code you can use to save yourself some money if you do shop there, along with a bunch of other codes that you can use to save money across websites like JOMASHOP or Gift Express, which has 15% off. All right, let's read about this new one. Introducing Caed Al Farsan Untamed, the latest iteration in the lineup from Lattafa. A rich, opulent fragrance that demands attention from the get-go, starting with the spicy, cozy nutmeg, cardamom, mandarin, and cinnamon, culminating in a vibrant, invigorating blast. The heart reveals its aromatic essence with lavender, geranium, cypress, and clary sage, braced by luscious caramel for an irresistible richness. Through the base, a nuanced, textured base of cedarwood, olibanum, vetiver, labdanum, and amber brings forward a strong, irresistible scent trail. It's the impeccable representation of self-confidence and power crafted for the daring souls. Actually, I read that incorrectly. Let me fix that really quick here. It's the impeccable representation of self-confidence and power. That's better. So this one has top notes: nutmeg, cardamom, mandarin, cinnamon, mid of lavender, geranium, cypress, clary sage, caramel, base of cedar, olibanum, vetiver, labdanum, and amber. So for once, a fragrance with more than 3 notes. Nice. And with this being a Lattafa, of course, the question is, what does it smell similar to? What is it a clone of? Because most Lattafa fragrances, not all, but most, are clones. And again, I don't have this one just yet, even though it has been for sale for just a little while now. But what it looks like is that it's a clone of Eros Najim. In case you're unaware of Eros Najim, it is a Middle Eastern exclusive Eros fragrance release, which unfortunately has been pretty difficult to find in the US. And like I said, it looks like that's what this is a clone of, which is actually a really good idea, because that fragrance, it's an Eros, so a lot of people are gonna be interested in it, but it's just really hard to find. And if you can find it, it's expensive. So why not do a clone of the fragrance? Put it out there where people can actually get it and sell it for like 25 bucks. Genius. Genius. Honestly, more of those fragrances need to be cloned, especially like the really good ones, like the one Luminous Night. There's a great clone of that, Lumiere Garçon by French Avenue, but you would think that more brands would have come out with versions of that. So to see Eros Najim potentially coming out as a clone here, that's good. Let's talk about the Drakkar next. Yes, the Drakkar. It's always up there, always watching. Drakkar Noir. This one though is Drakkar Bleu by Guy Laroche. Now, I'm not gonna say anything bad about my Drakkar, okay? I'm just not gonna do it. But I will say, maybe the time to release a blue fragrance was in the past a little bit. Not in the sense that blue fragrances don't still sell, they absolutely do. It's just, there was a time where every single brand was putting out their blue fragrance, right? Maybe that was the time. But they said, nah, heck with that. We will release it years later. So what does that mean for the future of Guy Laroche and Drakkar? Well, that means that probably in 2032, they're gonna go ahead and come out with something that smells kind of like Stronger With You. The timing is impeccable. But let's go ahead and read about this. Introducing the new Guy Laroche Drakkar Bleu Eau de Parfum, a fragrance that embodies the infinite power of the ocean. The wild waves crashing against the shore are embedded in this dark blue flacon. A cool, crisp, and long-lasting aromatic fougere blend infusing bergamot, fresh mint, and apple with the earthy power of patchouli and green moss. Unleash your inner power and infinite resilience with the new flanker. Sorry, I said that wrong. Let me fix that. Unleash your inner power. How many fragrances are gonna have that in their write-up, I wonder? I apologize again. Top notes, bergamot, apple, spearmint. Sounds good. Mid notes, sage, lavender. Basic, but works. Base, patchouli. So the note breakdown there is a little basic as it pertains to blue fragrances. Bergamot, apple, mint. We've seen it before. Sage, lavender, patchouli. It's not anything crazy, right? But it is a new Drakkar. And truth be told, it may be good, especially for the price point, because Guy Laroche fragrances are not expensive. They hit discounters and they get discounted heavily. We're talking like available for 20 bucks, sometimes less. And to be fair, it's not gonna hit that low price immediately, right? There's gonna be a cooling off period where initially it's a little bit more expensive, but over time, this is probably gonna dip down into that like 25 range, something like that. And if it does end up being an actual serviceable blue fragrance with good performance, which hopefully it will have because it is an eau de parfum, it says, then this could actually end up being kind of like a sleeper, ultra versatile compliment puller. Like some people really enjoy from Ferragamo, Acqua Essenziale Blue, right? Easy to wear, inexpensive compliment puller, gets the job done. This could be something like that. Maybe even better. Knock on wood. Let's talk next about the new Giorgio Armani Code Elixir. You thought they were done with the elixirs for the year? You thought wrong. All right, guys, let's put on our thinking caps for a second. Who has not released big fragrance this year so far? Chanel. Maybe they come out with an elixir. Versace, they could come out with an elixir. Eros elixir. Who else? Dolce & Gabbana has been busy. Armani has been a little busy. Prada. They could come out with like Luna Rosa Ocean elixir. Jimmy Choo. Yeah, there's more opportunities for more elixirs out there. It could happen. Let's talk about this one though. Discover the new Armani Code Elixir from Giorgio Armani. The highly concentrated and most opulent member of the Armani Code collection. No power that time. Opulence. Nice. Classy. Sophisticated. The new fragrance combines amber and leather with spices, resulting in an enticingly cozy fragrance that unleashes your irresistible masculinity. Don't know about you guys, but I constantly unleash my irresistible masculinity. Said no one ever. The scent begins with the zesty Calabrian green mandarin that provides freshness and energy. Through the heart, the true mesmerizing power of the fragrance is unveiled. A note of liquor is combined with smoky leather undertones, culminating in a seductive, cozy composition. The signature roasted tonka bean accord accentuates the scent trail, leaving behind a lasting impression. We're 3 for 3 on power. I will probably not do the power scream again just because I know that some of you out there are cursing my existence for that. I do like how there is a note of liquor in here, and it's like, well, what kind of liquor? Don't matter, just liquor. Liquor's liquor, I don't care, man. Gin, vodka, whiskey, bourbon, it's all the same. So this one has a really basic note breakdown. Green mandarin off the top, liquor accord, leather in the mid, and then tonka in the base. That note breakdown is not ultra different from the current note breakdown of Code Eau de Parfum, the 2024 iteration of Code Eau de Parfum. That one has green mandarin off the top, which has been a staple in the Code line here for a number of years, and also has tonka, another staple, but that one has nutmeg. So rather than nutmeg in the mid, now it has liquor accord and a leather accord. Now if you go back to say Code Profumo, that one had leather. It also had green mandarin and tonka, but it had other notes in there as well. I had an actual fleshed out note breakdown. There were like 9 notes in there. So the main thing that's probably going to set this apart, just looking at that very simple note breakdown anyways, is indeed the liquor accord and how that comes across. And I would love to just kind of, you know, crap on this for being another elixir and having only 4 notes. Kind of already half poke fun at it a little bit for that. But I would be a liar if I said that it didn't have really good potential depending on how that liquor accord comes across. Because there is something that I do really enjoy in these type of fragrances, these fall and winter time scents, you know, that are rich, seductive, sexy, and then they add that booziness. And sometimes when it's done with kind of an elevated touch, it really just lifts that whole composition. Think about it. Some of the biggest warm, sweet scents out there that do have some form of booziness in there smell amazing. Reserve Privé, Gentleman Reserve Privé. Stronger With You, absolutely. Angel's Share. I know that one's a niche fragrance that's kind of a standalone, not a flanker, but still, same idea. The way some of those hit, it's just it feels right. And so if they pull this off correctly, I'm assuming it's gonna have kind of vibes of the Code Eau de Parfum and Code Profumo just because of the Tonka Green Mandarin leather, maybe leaning more Profumo, but taking that base, that DNA, and then pumping it up a little more with that added booziness could really just take it to the next level. Or it could come out and be a redundant piece of crap. I guess we'll have to wait and see. The new Club de Nuit from Armaf. Let's talk about that one. That's another one I actually have on order. It is Club de Nuit Maleka. And this one is technically for the ladies. How feminine is it? I don't know, because again, I haven't smelled it yet. So I don't know if it's like feminine to the point that when you smell it, you go, oh, that's feminine, or you smell it and you go, oh, no, I can pull that off. It's probably feminine, isn't it? But let's do a quick read through on this one anyway. It's not an ordinary fragrance. It fits a Maleka, or queen in Arabic. Oh, I just definitely butchered that. Maleka? Maleka. I'm sorry.
Maleka. Maleka.
Maleka. Club de Nuit Maleka. She sets the rules. She arrives and all eyes turn to her. Sounds like a Rihanna song. The new blend is an ode to the woman who defies norms and expectations with her undeniable charisma and striking beauty. I get the feeling that this is not going to be unisex. At the top, lychee lurks mischievously. The heart stuns with orris root, giving off its powdery yet powerful aroma. Through the base, amber and praline harmoniously set the mood for an unforgettable and irresistible fragrance. It's more than just a fragrance. It commands attention with its striking essence. They said powerful. That's close enough. Pink pepper, bergamot, and lychee off the top, orris in the mid, sandalwood, praline, ambroxan in the base. And it says that this one was done by Olivier Cresp. Which is just further proof that more and more big name perfumers are releasing scents by houses like Lattafa and Armaf. So I know some people out there are not going to be pleased with that, but it is just how everything seems to be trending, how everything seems to be going. So there it is, the new Club de Nuit. It is available right now at Fragrance Buy. That's where I ordered mine. I'm sure it'll pop up other places as well. Let's talk the new Explorer. This is Explorer Extreme by Montblanc. Experience a new adventure with Montblanc Explorer Extreme, the woody, leathery fragrance that summons the contemporary voyager within you. Radiant bergamot unveils its zesty essence, embodying the character of the fearless adventurer. The mysterious woody nuances of patchouli and vetiver are combined with the leather and amber accords to highlight every note of this robust blend. A level of warmth and depth is integrated and stays after the adventure has begun. The new blend comes encased in a black sleeve etched with the signature Montblanc Extreme leather pattern. No mention of power. So top of bergamot, mid of patchouli vetiver, base of warm amber and leather. And of course, when it comes to Explorer, we all know how the OG smells. The OG Explorer smells similar to Creed's Aventus, essentially like a designer take on Aventus. It's not the exact same. It's doing its own thing to an extent, right? You know, it's got some other stuff going on there. But the way the bergamot, pink pepper, vetiver, ambroxan, all of that combines together, it does come across like a fresher designer Aventus. Extremely versatile, easy to wear, fairly affordable, and a compliment getter to boot. As well, the original note breakdown was a little more complex than this new one, again going along with the trend of the day, which is dumbing down note breakdowns. But interestingly enough, when you look at the original Explorer's note breakdown, and you look at the new Explorer's note breakdown, the only note that is not shared between the two is the amber accord. Leather, patchouli, vetiver, bergamot, all of those notes are in the original Explorer. So the question is, how different is this going to be? Is this going to be like Montblanc's take on Absolute Aventus, which could be kind of funny in a way? It's like, hey, here's Explorer Extreme. Yeah, it's like a designer take on Absolute Aventus, which honestly would make sense. Or is it truly an extreme flanker in the sense of they are taking the existing Explorer and they're just trying to make it richer, more robust, stronger, giving it a heavier base, a heavier bottom end on it, a thicker bottom end. And looking at the note breakdown and kind of the write-up, that kind of seems like what it is, especially with the bottle looking essentially the same, just with a new pattern design on the front and a darker kind of tint to the bottle. Everything else, color-wise, pretty much as it was. So for me, that's really the main question. It could, I guess, come out completely different and surprise the heck out of me, but my expectation is it's one or the other. Smells more like Absolute Ventus than normal Ventus, or it's taking the original Explorer and, like I said, making it extremified. And as with all Montblanc fragrances, you and I both know that once this hits discounters, it should matriculate downwards in terms of price and become a much more attractive pickup. All right, the last thing I want to touch on really quickly is the fragrances from Acqua di Parma. So they got a few of their big dog fragrances coming out in a new La Riserva line, reserve line. So for example, Fico di Amalfi, they are releasing this in the new La Riserva line, an olfactive tribute to the lush figs that results in a textured, bold, and smooth fragrance with a maceration period of 2 months. Usually when it comes to macerating, we're talking about clone fragrances, but no sir. Acqua di Parma is letting us know straight up that this fragrance has been macerating for 2 months straight. Been busy. The top notes energize with the zesty freshness of mandarin, blood orange, grapefruit, and lemon. Nice. While the heart unveils an elegant blend of orris, nice, elevated by an infusion of fig and lemon with a rich fig pulp accord, adding solidity and texture. Nice. Finally, the base notes provide a cozy finish with tonka, ambretolide, and orchinox, leaving behind a lingering scent trail. Honestly, it sounds freaking awesome.
I desperately want that.
Fico di Amalfi, one of the more popular, more well-known fig fragrances out there, especially in the niche realm, and not too expensive either. Typically at discounters, you can pick it up for a really good price. And then another one of my favorites is getting the treatment Arancia di Capri. Let me just quickly check this one. Top of Italian blood orange, mandarin orange, and petitgrain, mid of rosemary, basil, salt, and minerals, and a base of cedar, ambretolide, and suede. I love some Acqua di Parma for summertime. Get those bad boys on the cheap from a discounter, like I said. Helps you stand out. A lot of them very citrusy, nice quality. Staying power kind of sucks sometimes with like the normal ones, but I'm assuming these are gonna be a little better as far as staying power goes. So if you're a big fan of Acqua di Parma, keep your eyes open for those. There we go. It's been a minute since we've gotten some new fragrances announced, but thankfully we just got a new bunch right there. I would assume we'll probably get a few more big announcements through the summer. Like I said, there are some brands that haven't really done a whole lot this year yet. And if it happens how it usually happens, then kind of once you start heading through fall, like towards the middle or end of fall, not a whole heck of a lot comes out after that until the new year. But let's be thankful for what we do have. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.